So welcome everyone. My name is Jennifer Dill. I'm director of OTREC, and OTREC is really based upon partnerships, and I think that's really evident from all of you here today and the collaboration that we're going to be focusing on today. Our success is really based on partnerships, and joining us today are several of our partners. I want to recognize a few particular partners. Today we have with us, joining us, Misoon Pierce from Congressman David Wu's office, who represents this region, this location. We also have Jay Ward from Senator Wyden's office. We have OTREC's associate directors, Mark Schlossberg from U of O, Roger Lindgren from OIT, and Chris Higgins from OSU. We also have a lot of representatives from ODOT, from a lot of the MPOs, and also the City of Portland here with us today. And also a lot of the public and private partners that really make OTREC work. And I'm really happy to say we have a lot of our students and alums from the 4 different campuses who are really part of this whole program. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to the president of Portland State University, Wim Wiewel.
It's wonderful to be here. Every time when I'm in this atrium, we announce something good, you know. It's always wonderful. And indeed, almost every time, it's about partnerships. It's always about doing things together with others. I was just talking to Peter Appel, our honored guest here from the United States Department of Transportation, and he admitted that this is his first time in Portland and in Oregon. So, of course, we're talking about the relative pros and cons of living here versus living in the Washington, D.C. area where I lived and where he now lives, and in Illinois where he's lived as well, and where I've lived. And I got to tell you, Peter, this is the best place, and you will find that out. All you have to do is look out. The sun is always shining here. We just hose the sidewalks down. That's why they're wet. Got great food here, definitely great food here, and but most importantly, and what makes Portland distinct to me, and truly the most distinct of the about 6 major cities that I've lived in, is what I call the extended social capital. You know, this is a place where people really believe in collaboration, where there is a lot of trust between different organizations, including the public and the private sector. Regardless of some of the political rhetoric, compared to what you hear in a lot of other states, this is pretty mild. Now, part of social capital is that we also spend a lot of time talking to each other, and at times we joke about how we believe in process, and we will spend perhaps too much time making sure that everybody is represented and included, and then we don't get enough things done. But, for my money, this is just a place where people know how important it is to do things jointly. Perhaps it has partly to do with this whole pioneer spirit that is still, relatively recent. It's not that old a stage yet, where people know the value of collaboration. And OTREC definitely represents that as a partnership of multiple universities, as well as the Oregon Department of Transportation, the city's Department of Transportation, many other agencies as well. The work that we're focusing on here today around modeling obviously is extremely important to making this place work, because that's another characteristic. As a city, we pride ourselves on having things work pretty well and being path-breaking in really focusing on how do we create a livable environment that both values sustainability, but does so in a way that preserves economic vitality and growth, and also creates a place with social equity and justice. These are not easy goals to always reconcile, but it's an area where, of course, having access to great data and being able to do good modeling is extremely important, because we all know that in so much of the research we do, the challenge of unintended consequences are very important. And if we have to try that out in real life and then clean up the mess afterwards, it's inevitably a very expensive way to go. So being able to both have superb data collection and then do superb modeling is absolutely critical to maintaining the high quality of life and the path-breaking nature of the research that we do. And we are just so pleased to be working with all of our colleagues and with the support of the Department of Transportation to make sure that we stay on the cutting edge in that area. So I want to thank everybody for for being here, and I look forward to our continued advances. And now let me turn it over to one of our faculty members who we actually snared away from Maryland not so long ago, somebody who is both an urban planner and an engineer, therefore extremely well positioned to be a leader in this effort. Please welcome Kelly Clifton. Kelly?
Thank you, and thank you all for coming. You know you're in a special place when you send out an invite for a launch of a modeling collaborative and you get this many people interested and engaged. So I'm glad that you're all here. And so as Vim mentioned, Oregon has a long tradition of developing and implementing innovative transportation analysis tools, and the Oregon Modeling Collaborative builds on this enormous wealth of talent that we have here in the state. And we're bringing together, for the first time in this initiative, the collective research might of the 4 universities in the Oregon University system, with public agencies and private consultants working in the transportation sector. And by putting this brain trust together, we're sending out a clear signal that the future of transportation starts here. We've reached this point because of the efforts of many of you here today, and I'd like to extend my thanks to start with OTREC, who are our hosts today. They have thrown their administrative and financial support behind this initiative and allowing these ideas to come to fruition. In addition, OTREC has funded many of the research projects of the faculty affiliated with the Oregon Modeling Collaborative and helped promote model development and student involvement across the Oregon universities. They are also buying our lunch today, so thank you. I'd also like to thank ODOT for their support. They have been a valuable partner in OTREC, and we're pleased to expand that productive relationship to this new venture. ODOT provided matching funds for the initiative and have supported many of the research projects. That ensures that the transportation that we are conducting here is relevant to Oregon's needs and can be more readily moved into practice. We're also proud to have the support of the private sector. The transportation consulting firms in Oregon provide many of the internships for our students and future employment opportunities for our graduates. We have had generous donations from Parsons Brinkerhoff, DKS and Associates, and other consulting firms to initiate our scholarship fund, which will be used to attract students here to study modeling, as well as to provide funding and student support for students to go to conferences. This relationship with the private sector is important not only to connect our students with their future employers, but also foster entrepreneurial relationships and ventures between universities and the private sector. I'd like to also thank the members of the Oregon Modeling Steering Committee, which has laid the foundation for what we're embarking on today. They were founded in 1996 to provide a unique forum for agencies to coordinate their modeling efforts and transfer knowledge across the state. And it's a large part because of the success of this committee that Oregon is recognized across the nation as a leader in land use and transportation modeling. And we have to recognize today Bill Upton, who is the manager of the statewide and urban modeling at ODOT and the chair of the Oregon Modeling Steering Committee, for his vision, leadership, and support. Bill should be credited with the idea of founding the OMC, and it's his energy over the last decade that has allowed OMC to be realized, and so a special thanks to you. So today we're here to launch the Oregon Modeling Collaborative. I've given you a little sense of who we are and this partnership that we've formed across academic, public, and private sectors. But I'd like to just touch a little bit upon the work that we're setting out to do today and our 3-pronged approach that includes research, education, and outreach. So Oregon, like every other state, is faced with major challenges in planning for our transportation futures, and we need good decision support tools to realize efficient, safe, and sustainable movement of people and goods. The demands placed on our tools, however, are becoming more and more complicated. We're asking them to capture the complexity in our urban systems. We are asking them to include all modes of transportation, including walking and cycling. We need to consider our energy resources and output. We need to anticipate the technological changes that are underway, like the adoption of electric vehicles, and the consequences of all of our choices for the environment, the economy, and our overall well-being. So the scope of these challenges, quite frankly, as a researcher, makes my head spin. I mean, this is an enormous task that we're undertaking here. But because of that, it's also a really exciting time to be engaged in this work. There is incredible wealth of talent here in the state, and there's a willingness to break from tradition and try new things. And it's for those reasons that what brought me brought me here to Oregon almost a year ago to the day. So myself and the other OTREC faculty, the OMC students, will be working with ODOT and OMSC to collect data, refine and develop models, and analyze problems to give our policymakers better information to guide our decisions. We hope to share this collective knowledge with the transportation professionals through short courses, through seminars, through technical assistance, with the goal of professional development and outreach. But to succeed in our aims, we also need to consider the next generation of modelers. So how might we transfer our existing knowledge to them and prepare them for what's in store ahead? So we aim to reach out to students with our scholarship fund, with internship opportunities with our private and public sector partners, and giving them the opportunity to participate in our ongoing academic research. My aim, our aim, is to attract the best transportation students to Oregon. We want them to come here to participate in our living laboratory, and that students who are interested in transportation professions will know that if they want to get the best educational preparation to make a difference, that the Oregon universities are going to be the place to come. So as we look to the future, we hope to serve as both a resource for Oregon, an institutional model for the entire country, and on how to make the best public investment decisions using our finite transportation resources. So I'm excited to launch this initiative here today. I'm pleased to introduce Jerri Bohard, who is the Interim Director of Operations with ODOT. It's thanks in part to the commitment of people like Jerri that we are able to take this step today. So please welcome Jerri Bohard.
Good afternoon. As Kelly said, I'm currently serving as the Interim Deputy Director for Operations for ODOT, and I think it is a reflection of all the things that are happening in our state. Director Garrett was really looking about how do we break down silos, how do we look at gaining the most efficiencies that we can as we think about our transportation system. And so when I think about ODOT being a partner in this collaborative, I recognize that the pieces that are coming together are, as Kelly put, really exciting times. Personally, very excited. I've worked for ODOT for almost 12 years now and managed the two sections, I think, that really brought these two groups together. I mean, we've recognized the wonderful work that Bill Upton has done with the modeling, and then Barney Jones with helping to bring OTREC together. So when I think about as the kind of the policy arm of the agency, bringing our modeling and bringing our research together in this collaborative, it's just a really an amazing opportunity. I think ODOT has been a leader in the transportation modeling that we've done. I think that's come about because of the history that we've had about looking around land use and transportation integration with the state planning goals that we've had for a number of years. They've always been on the cutting edge of saying, what are the policy questions that are out there? What are the policy questions that we need to answer? And they've done a good job on many of the things that we've had to work on. And we now have the next initiative of climate change. And what is that going to look like? And I think one of the really strong things with regards to the modeling work that we've done is the partnerships. This just takes partnerships to the next level. With, as we mentioned, the OMSC that's been around since 1996, that really brought a lot of our state agencies together and our planning organizations together. But this is bringing together our universities and the private sector. So we're taking that collaboration to the next level. So at ODOT, we're proud to have helped make Oregon a leader in land use transportation and modeling, a commitment that extends beyond our state and regional agencies. And I'm excited to be here today to celebrate the launch of the Oregon Modeling Collaborative. And it really cements the relationship that we have between ODOT and our universities and our other partners. And what I think I appreciate most about this is the education aspect of it. The research obviously is very key, but when I think about the workforce that we need in the future, the work that we'll be doing here to bring students into the workforce is key to a success both for our agency and for the state as a whole. And so we're proud to be OTREC's partner in this effort, and we look forward to working with the transportation professionals that come out of this initiative. And so with that, I will just turn it back to Jennifer to introduce our speaker.